Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, how are you today? I hope you are fine. We are from Group 1, Accounting Major University Sriwijaya. Want to tell you about prepositional phrases. But first, let we introduce ourselves. My name is Ananda Hanifatul.
My name is Anissa Fadila Putri.
I'm Aisyah Nurfadillah.
Is Afifah Syahfira Rifai.
Thank you for our members group. Now, let's move on to the presentation. Firstly, we will show you about what is prepositional phrases and will be explained by Anissa Fadila Putri.
So, before you guys understand what is a prepositional phrase, it's important that we understand what is a preposition and what is a phrase. A preposition is a word that shows a relationship of a noun or pronoun with part of a sentence. So, let's start with understanding what is a preposition. A preposition is a word that shows a relationship of a noun or pronoun with part of a sentence. Here's some example of preposition: in, on, at, for, from, by, with, to, and others. In fact, there are so many prepositions we have in English, but there are some example of preposition that we use in our daily lives. What is a phrase? Phrase is a group of words that doesn't have the subject and verb combination. For example, it smells so bad. But in the sentence, it's explained about phrase.
Thank you for Anissa. Now, are you know what the meaning of prepositional phrases? Okay. Next, we will show you about prepositional phrases that modify nouns, and it will be explained by Aisyah Nurfadillah.
Prepositional phrase that modify noun. When a prepositional phrase acts upon a noun, we say it is behaving adjectively because adjectives modify noun. A prepositional phrase behaves adjectively is called quite-logically an adjectival phrase. Okay, we will go to some examples. First, the cat in the middle is the cutest. Second, I buy my milk from the convenience store on Main Street. Third, my mother has always wanted to live in a cabin by the lake. In the first of the sentences, in the middle, answer the questions about which cat that the writer thinks is the cutest. Similarly, on Main Street, give us information about which store the writer is describing. And by the lake, tell us what kind of cabin the writer's mother is dreaming about. All of these prepositional phrases provide specificity to a noun in order to enhance our understanding. Okay, the next examples. Do you mean that boy in the corner? I know, the policeman with the radio. In these two examples, the prepositional phrases are functioning as an adjective. They are a modifying noun as they are multi-word adjectives. These prepositional phrases are a type of adjective phrase. Okay, the last examples. Please buy the scarf with dots. The prepositional phrases describes the noun scarf. We could write it the dotted scarf, which proves that with dots is a functioning as an adjective.
Thank you, Aisyah. Now, we will show you about the prepositional phrases that modify verb and prepositional phrases acting as noun, and will be explained by me. So, firstly, I want to tell you about this. Are you know what the meaning of this? If you don't know, I want to tell you. Yes. A prepositional process that modify verb is when the prepositional process act like upon verb. We say it behaving adverbially because it is modify verb. Prepositional process that modify verb is called an It's called this adverbial process. Okay, now I want to tell you an example. Like if you can see in here, yes, in here. Before the war, Christian played football, Western United. If you can see, are you know where the prepositional process that modify verb? Are you know? Okay, in this example, prepositional process modify the verb played. It is a verb of time. If you see in this example, prepositional process modify the verb played because they are tell about time and when the Christian played football, right? Secondly, I want to tell you about this prepositional process acting as noun. I will give you an example. During the flag ceremony is the worst time to make have fun. Are you know where the prepositional process acting as noun in here? Okay. In the example, I will tell you where the prepositional process acting as noun. Are you know? Okay, prepositional process acting as noun in this example is during the flag ceremony. I think that's all about my explain. Now we will show you about how to avoid excessive prepositional process and will be explained by Kak Afifah, Syahfira, Rifai.
Here I will explain about how to avoid excessive prepositional pairs. It is tempting to overuse preposition and prepositional pairs. If you see more than or one preposition for every 10 or 15 words in your writing, you should edit some of them out. You may be surprised at how much more elegant and economic your writing is when you make the effort to do this. Example: it is best to behave with caution when running with short in the presence of Megan.
Thank you for Kak Afifah. Next, we will show you about what kind of preposition and we will explain by Anissa.
So, before you guys understand what is a prepositional phrase, it's important that we understand what is a preposition and what is a phrase. So, let's start with understanding what is a preposition. A preposition is a word that shows a relationship of a noun or pronoun with part of a sentence. Here's some example of preposition: in, on, at, for, from, by, with, to, and others. In fact, there are so many prepositions we have in English, but there are some examples of preposition that we use in our daily lives. What is a phrase? Phrase is a group of words that doesn't have the subject and verb combination. For example, it smells so bad. But in the sentence, it's explained about phrase. For your information, preposition have many types in English. The first is preposition of time. Preposition of times is used to show time. Example: before, after, in, on, by, till, until, and others. For example, in sentence, he was born in March. in. Second, do you feel sleepy after lunch? Third, I have lunch at 7 o'clock. After and at in sentence, it's explained about preposition of time. The second is preposition of place. The preposition of place is used to show place. Example, above, around, behind, between, in front of, and others. For example of sentence, he sat behind me. Second, there is a bowl of strawberries on the table. Third, my house is between hospital and bookstore. On and between in the sentence, it's explained about preposition of place. The third, preposition of movement. Preposition of movement is used to show a movement. For example, in the sentence, 1. She wants to travel around the world. 2. We used to walk down the hill. Around and down in this sentence is explained about preposition of movement. Fourth, preposition of manner. Preposition of manner is a preposition which shows the relationship, way, the object, and the other words in a sentence. Example, in, with, without, by, in. For example, in the sentence, 1. Tara moved to Bandung without telling me. 2. We went there by plane, but we returned by train. Without and by in the sentence is explained about preposition of manner. 5. Preposition of purpose. Preposition of purpose is a preposition which shows the relationship, purpose, the object, and other words in a sentence. For example, for. For example, in the sentence, 1. Do you know how to set a table for dinner? Now, let's us understand prepositional phrase. What is a prepositional phrase? Preposition phrase is a phrase that starts with phrase and followed by the object of preposition. The object of preposition consists of noun, pronoun, gerund, noun phrase, and noun clause. But not all words can be the object of preposition.
Thank you, Anissa. Next, we will show you about real-life example of prepositional phrases and why should we care about prepositional phrases, and will be explained by me. So, are you know real-life example of prepositional phrases? In this real-life example, prepositional phrases function as adjective and adverb. But first, I will show you an example of prepositional phrases are function as adjective. Like this, the best defense against the atom bomb is not to be there when it goes off. This is the 1949 British Army Journal. Are you know where the prepositional are function as adjective in this sentence? So the prepositional phrases function as adjective in this sentence is against the boom. Against the boom. Right? Okay. Second, I will show you an example about the prepositional phrases are function as adverb. Like this. I used to work in a fire hydrant factory. You couldn't park near the place. Are you know where the function as adverb? So the function as adverb in this sentence is in a fire hydrant factory and near the place. This sentence have two function as adverb. Next, okay. Are you understand about real life example of prepositional phrases? Now I will show you about why should we care about prepositional phrases. These are three good reasons to care about prepositional phrases. I will show you first reason why should we care about prepositional phrases. First is proof. Don't treat a prepositional phrase as the subject of your verb. You must be colorful when a prepositional phrase precedes a verb. I will show you an example, the wrong sentence. Like this, a box of knives were found at the scene. Why the sentence is wrong? Because the subject is not knives, it is box. The subject is box, not knives. Therefore, the verb should be singular, not plural. And then, this should read a box of knives was found at the scene. Are you understand what I say? If you don't, I want to give you an last example. So the last example is, okay, I will show you last example. A combination of factors were the cause of the crash. Why this is wrong? Are you know? Because the combination is singular and the subject is not factor. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm explaining. Next, we will show you about the next reason why we should care about prepositional phrases and will be explained by Aisyah.
Reason 2. The noun in a prepositional phrase influences the verb with an expression like most of, some of, half of, majority of, and 99% of. Be aware that the noun in your prepositional phrase can influence the verb when the subject is an indefinite pronoun, which can be singular or plural depending on context. For examples, first, most of the cake have been eaten. The noun cake is singular, therefore, most is treated as singular. Second, most of the cakes have been eaten. The noun cakes is plural, therefore, most is treated as plural. Third, some of the worst mistakes of my life have been haircuts. The main noun in a prepositional phrase, mistakes, is a plural. Therefore, some is treated as plural. Note that of my life is just a prepositional phrase functioning as an adjective modifying mistakes. The prepositional phrase of the worst mistakes is the one modifying some, which is the subject of our verb have. Reason 3. Avoid ambiguity when placing your prepositional phrase. Ambiguity with the prepositional phrases can be a real issue. Look at this example. Joe fed the shark in the cage. Does the prepositional phrase tell us where Joe was when he fed the shark? Or does it tell us which start Joe fed? In other words, is in the cage as functioning as an adverb modifying fat, or adjective modifying shark. You can usually eliminate your ambiguity by rewording your sentence. First, Joe was in the cage when he fed the shark. Second, Joe fed the shark that was in the cage.
Thank you, Aisyah. Next, we will show you a key point of prepositional process and will be explained by Kak Afifah.
Points the noun in a prepositional phrase does not govern the verb. A list of words has been recorded. Has is right because list is singular. Words is plural, but that's irrelevant. With an expression like some of, most of, half of, majority of, the noun that follows determine whether the subject is singular or plural. Some of the coins are mine. Are is right because coin is plural. Be careful with prepositional verbs because they can be ambiguous. There's genuine ambiguity above your prepositional verbs next to whatever is modifying or reword your sentence.
Thank you, Kak Afifah. So, about our presentation, are you now understand what the meaning of prepositional process? We hope you understand. I think that's all about our presentation. If we have any word goes wrong, we apologize. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.